Hey y'all, today is all about those easy casseroles. I have 3 old favorites in here, but stay tuned until the end. I tried a new recipe. We might have had a little mishap in there, so stay tuned and see how that one turned out. But let's get into these super easy casserole recipes. So I'm starting by making this in my iron skillet. I'm going to give that a good spray, and then to a separate bowl I'm just using some cornbread muffin mix. You could use Jiffy, but this Betty Crocker one worked out perfectly as well. And to that I'm adding sour cream, 1 egg, and about a half a can of creamed corn. You can just eyeball it and mix that all up together. So once you have your cornbread mixed up, you're going to put that into your iron skillet, and this is going to go ahead and bake at 400 for about 20 minutes. And y'all, I have to go ahead and tell you, this recipe turned out so good. We all loved it. My husband, even both of my kids, thought it was delicious, and this really took no time at all to throw together. So while your cornbread is baking in the oven, to a separate skillet, I'm just adding a little bit of olive oil and a chopped onion, and I'm just going to saute this until it softens a little bit. Once it's softened, I'm adding in some minced garlic. I'm going to let that cook for a few more seconds, and then we're going to add in about 1 pound of ground beef, and we're just going to brown that up until it's fully cooked. If this is your first time here on my channel, I want to go ahead and invite you to hit that subscribe button, especially if you love easy, family-friendly recipes. That is what I'm sharing all the time here on my channel, so I hope that you will go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss anything that I post. So once your ground beef is all cooked up, you want to drain it, especially if you use something like an 80-20 like I was using today. This was some leftover hamburger meat from hamburgers we did earlier in the week. So once I got that drained, I just returned it over here and added in 1 packet of taco seasoning. And you just want to stir everything together to get that seasoning all nice and coated. About this time, your cornbread is probably done, so you're just going to pull that out of the oven and then take a fork and basically poke holes all on the top of your cornbread. And then next you're going to take 1 can of red enchilada sauce, or green, I'm sure that would be delicious as well, and you pour about 1/3 cup right on top, and then I'm just using my fork to kind of spread it around and get it all in those little holes of the cornbread. Next, I'm just going to bring over that ground beef mixture and pour that right on top of the cornbread and enchilada sauce. Get that all nice and spread out evenly, and this is going to make the most delicious little tamale pie you ever did try. There you go, there's a little poem for you. But it's not done quite yet. We are going to add some shredded cheese on top. Feel free to use whatever kind of shredded cheese that you like. I use some Tillamook cheddar jack cheese in the farm style thick cut, and if you're not going to shred your own, this is the perfect alternative. I love Tillamook and Sargento, the thick shreds, so good, and they melt so cheesy and delicious. Y'all just trust me on this one. So I'm adding on about 2 cups of shredded cheese, just all on top, getting it all nice and covered, and this is going to be covered with some aluminum foil and go back into the oven for about 20 minutes. After that 20 minutes, we're going to uncover it, pop it back in the oven, and broil it for just about 5 minutes. Just keep an eye on it until that cheese starts to get a little bit brown on top, nice and bubbly. Y'all, this is just so good. How many times can I tell y'all that? So now I'm just going to plate it up, and we just served ours with some Mexican style rice on the side. Feel free to add whatever toppings you want as far as kind of taco toppings go. We just added a little bit of sour cream, and then I had some chives that I just sprinkled on top for a little bit of color, and this was the perfect weeknight, quick and easy, delicious meal. I mean, just look at all those layers. Seriously, so good. Oh my goodness, that is so good. I'm not showing my face tonight because we've been under the weather, but y'all, this is delicious. Such a good like taco flavor, and you get a little bit of sweetness from that cornbread. Y'all gotta try this. First, you're just gonna take your cream cheese and we're gonna blend this together with the fajita seasoning and a 1/3 cup of salsa. So I'm just gonna pop mine into a bowl and microwave it just to kind of soften it up a little bit. All right, so next to my bowl with our cream cheese, we're adding 1/3 cup of salsa, any kind that you like. And then also we're gonna add in 1 packet of fajita seasoning. Stir that all together. Alright, so now I have 4 chicken breasts in a 9x13 baking dish, and we're just going to take that mixture and spread it all over the tops of our chicken breast. Alright, next on top of that, I have a red bell pepper and a green bell pepper, and we're just going to sprinkle that on top of the chicken. On top of our peppers, we're just going to sprinkle with a little bit of Fiesta Blend cheese. Alright, so this is going to go in the oven at 375 for about 25 to 30 minutes until that chicken is cooked through. And the recipe I am going by did not specify this, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it with aluminum foil just so that cheese doesn't burn. And I'll probably take it off in the last 5 minutes or so and kind of brown the top. So we actually took this dinner somewhere on this night, so I didn't get a video of it plated up, but I just served this over top of some white rice, and it was so delicious. Next up, we have twice baked potato casserole, and you're going to start this with a 24-ounce container of refrigerated mashed potatoes from the grocery store. Bob Evans are really good if you've never tried them. We're going to pop those into a bowl. Next, we're going to add about a half a bag of shredded cheddar cheese, the Tillamook again, so good. Also going to add half a cup of sour cream, a sprinkle of salt, pepper, and onion powder. Next, we're going to add about 4 strips of cooked and crumbled bacon. Next, we're just going to mix everything together. So next, once everything's mixed together, we're just going to place this into a baking dish, and we're going to top with the remainder of that cheese. It's just an 8-ounce bag of cheese. You can use any kind that you like. Now this is going to go into the oven for about 30 minutes. And all of these recipes will be linked or typed out in the description box below. Once your casserole is nice and bubbly, we're going to add 2 more strips of cooked bacon to the top. You could also add scallions or anything else you would add to a potato at this point. And I have to say, we all love this, especially my kids. This made for a super easy weeknight side dish. You could totally even use this for the holidays coming up. So we're going to start by just sauteing. I have some green bell pepper here, probably about a half of a pepper, maybe about a 1/4 of a cup. And I'm just going to saute that, like I always tell y'all, just to soften it a little bit, get a little bit of good color on it. Now we're just going to add to the pan 1 pound of ground beef. And y'all, sorry if you hear my dishwasher. I put a tab in there and sometimes it doesn't run right. So now I'm running it again. Real life. So this is going to be kind of like a supreme pizza. Obviously you can add whatever toppings that you and your family prefer on pizza, but this is just a great recipe to kind of be able to customize. I thought I had an onion, but I did not, so I'm going to add a little bit of minced onion just to keep that onion flavor. because we love onion on our pizza. Just gonna add a little bit. I'm also gonna sprinkle in just a little bit of Auntie No-No's everything seasoning. This has salt, garlic, and onion in here, so all things that are delicious on pizza, so why not? All right, now we're just gonna continue cooking down this ground beef until it's no longer pink. All right, this is just about browned up. I'm gonna go ahead and drain this, and I'll be right back. All right, here's the part where it's pretty customizable. So I have my green pepper in there, I have my seasoning. I'm gonna add about half a small little can of black olives. You do kind of need to add the ground beef though, because that's kind of the base of this recipe. I'm gonna stir that in. Next, we're gonna add in one of these small little packages of pepperoni. Next, you're just gonna add in 1 jar of your favorite pizza sauce. By far, our favorite is the Rayo's, the pizza sauce, the actual pizza. The marinara is also really good, but if you see the pizza sauce, it's a little bit more expensive, but I promise it's worth it. It's delicious. The closest thing to homemade you can get at the store. We're just gonna dump that whole jar in. And then let's just give everything a stir. And this recipe is a perfect one for during the week when you're busy. I think that's the only kind of recipes I cook here lately. But this comes together so quick. All right, I have my 9x13 here, so we're just gonna bring over this mixture and place it in there. Next, I have 1 roll of the crescent dough sheet. I'm just gonna roll that out right over top of the pizza mixture. Now I'm just kind of stretching out my dough a little bit just to kind of get to the edges. Press everything down in there. Nobody's gonna escape. Next, I just have a couple tablespoons of butter that I melted. I'm just gonna brush a little bit over the top, on top of our crust. And you really only probably need 1 tablespoon because I did not use near all of that. All right, and then lastly, I'm just gonna top with a little bit of Italian seasoning and a little sprinkle of green cayenne Parmesan cheese. All right, and that is it. That is so easy. This is going into the oven at 375 for about 20 to 30 minutes until that crust is a nice golden brown. Y'all done messed it up. Y'all see it behind the scenes. Claw whipping on tonight. I done messed something up. But you know what?
What'd you do?
It happens. I forgot the cheese. Okay, we're gonna have to take this crust back off somehow with butter on it. That ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work.
Cheese on top of it.
Oh, I could.
Cheese on top.
I could, but then it won't be all golden brown.
It's okay.
Dadgummit. Because that will not work if I take that off. It's too melty. Real life. I forgot to put the cheese. Y'all should definitely put the cheese on top of the meat. What is this, my first day? All right, y'all should put the cheese on top of the meat, and that way we'll have a nice cheesy layer in between the meat and the crust. But I done messed it up, so we're gonna put the cheese on top of the crust. Hopefully it don't burn. You know what, I'm gonna put it in there for a few minutes first.
Yeah, put it in for a few minutes.
It's just food, like you can always do it a different way. I'm gonna put it in there for a few minutes first to kind of start the crust cooking, and then I'll put the cheese on there. That way the cheese don't burn and the crust will be done. Of course, I'll have the original recipe in the description box for y'all, but it turned out fine. I would like to try it again to have the cheese in the middle, but it was still great, still tasted good. All right, y'all, I baked it just a little bit longer to make sure that crescent dough got done. We're gonna sprinkle some parsley just for a little bit of color, that cheese. But I think it's gonna be good because we still got that crescent dough layer with that butter in there. I think it's still gonna be good. Just serving mine with a little side salad, and I think this is the perfect, super easy, super quick Friday night meal. A little homemade ranch action. All right, y'all, that is dinner. Super quick, super easy, and I think we're gonna love it. If you enjoyed these videos, make sure you check out one here on the screen to get even more amazing recipe ideas. This recipe actually turned out really good. We all enjoyed it. It was a nice little variation to a Friday night pizza night. But I hope you guys are all doing amazing, and I'll see y'all again real soon in my next video. Bye, y'all.